You ever seen a Prius with GR86 wheels and I wonder how they got away with that? Well, there's an answer. A lot of car companies actually use the same lug nut pattern, and by lug nut pattern, I usually mean like something like 5x100 or 5x26.4 or whatever. Now, this 5 means the number of lug nuts, so it could be 4 and then another number. The 100 or 114, whatever, is the imaginary circle. So let's say there's a circle going through all 5 lug nuts or all 4 lug nuts. It's the diameter of that circle. In both the Toyota GR86 and the Toyota Prius, the lug nut pattern is 5x100. This is typical of Toyota because they share a lot of parts across a lot of cars. So it makes sense that they would use the same wheel hub for the Prius and the GR86. I mean, if there's nothing wrong with it, don't break it. It's not special for hybrids or anything. It's just, a normal wheel hub with a normal lug nut size. Back in the day in the 2000s, wheel swapping wasn't really seen like swapping a, manufacturer wheel to a car of the same manufacturer. More it was aftermarket wheels made to fit your car. But nowadays, a lot of people are swapping wheels from, sold cars, like Toyota Camry wheels on the Toyota Venza. They're just swapping wheels from one type of manufactured car to another type. And that's more common, today, especially among just regular consumers, than buying a whole new set of rims that you're going to install that wasn't factory made by the company your car is made for. And this may be a generalization, but in the past year, I've seen way more of people swapping OEM rims to an OEM car of the same manufacturer, with some exceptions. Sometimes different manufacturers use the same bolt pattern, we'll get into that in a minute, than buying entirely new rims made for your car. Now, this is kind of where the guide part comes in. So see if you can find your car on this manufacturer list to see kind of what you're looking for. I would search it up on Google. You can say, hey, for the 2012 Toyota Prius, which I have, I know it's 5x100, what is the, I think it's lug nut diameter. Just say what size is the lug nut pattern, and they'll say 5x100 or whatever. So here are just some brief examples, and I'll say Mitsubishi's a little bit weird. They are one of the only of the Japanese brands not to use 5x100, but here's just a general scheme. So see if you can find your brand on this list, and then we'll get into a little bit of specifics. There's a lot of Toyota heads here, so I'll include like what Toyota models are 5x100, because remember, it's not just each brand locks into one lug nut pattern. You have to remember, like, the reason why Volvo and Ford share the same lug nut pattern was because Volvo was owned by Ford for a while. So a lot of these is like most of the time, but not always, because they can use parts from different manufacturers, or simply just make parts differently. Their sports cars may have a different bolt pattern. Like the Charger may have a different bolt pattern than the Dart. Now, here, we have Toyota and Subaru. They are the biggest users of the 5x100 pattern. So, a lot of people that watch this channel, they are Toyota and Subaru buyers. So here's just a little chart if you own those brands. If you don't own those brands, you can just look up on Google for your specific car, or, ask an AI, ask Grok, ChatGPT, your AI of choice. If you have several cars, just ask them, and, they'll tell you. So now we have another issue. Where do we find the wheels? Alright, well, let me give you an example of when I needed wheels. But before we start, I have a message to all the Europeans out there. A lot of Europeans will say, oh, well, the left lane is for passing. That's not true. It's a cultural difference. Here in the United States, the leftmost lane is the fast lane. That lane, and sometimes, believe it or not, it's even separated from the highways. You'll have 2 lanes of just, regular traffic, and then another 2 lanes of express lanes, which you can merge into. And that way, there's no exits, there's no merging, there's no nothing. They're just the fastest lanes possible. So picture it. I got, some bad news for my family. Turns out it was accidental. Nothing ended up happening. Anyway, I was headed from Florida to Oregon, and I was in a rush. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was driving about 85 miles per hour, somewhere between 75 and 85. There was no one else on the road. I mean, literally no one else on the road. And I was on an expressway, and I was driving, and, I was kind of rushing. I wanted to get there. I have a Volvo XC70. It's a great car. It's one of the best cars I've ever owned. I like the Prius because it's economical, but sometimes, you just want to be in pure luxury. So that's what the Volvo's for. Anyway, I was driving, and I hit a pothole, and the tire came off of the wheel, and I shattered my wheel in half. And yeah, I mean, come on, when you're going 85 miles per hour and it's like pitch black and your headlights, I mean, they're fine, but they're still halogen. I was driving, I saw it, I braked, but I didn't want to like slam on the brakes because then, even with ABS, it's not going to be pretty. So I shattered my wheel. I would have done wheel damage and had to replace it anyway. So where would I get OEM manufactured wheels from Volvo for this XC70? Even worse, Volvo makes custom wheels for all their cars. All their cars have different wheels. They're impossible to find. It would have been so expensive for me to go up to Volvo and say, hey, do you have a T6 Premier Volvo all-wheel drive 2015 XC70 wheel? They charged me like $1,000. But here is my trick. This is the place you go for original wheels. Now, it's kind of expensive, and hubcaps. Keep that in mind. It's kind of expensive, but trust me, it's worth it. You don't want to have to be going to a junkyard where the wheels have been curbed to crap. Like, if those wheels are still there, there's a reason why they're still there, because no one wants them. So follow my advice. go to originalwheels.com, find your manufacturer. I'm going to find it for my Toyota Prius. Just click on Toyota, then click on Prius. It's kind of hard to find here. Oh, they also have instructional videos that tell you everything that you need to know. Then pick out your year, and they will show you, and again, there's no difference between the Prius V and the C. You can find original wheels for your car right here, and the best part is they're pretty cost effective compared to what the dealer would charge you. Not quite as cheap as a junkyard, but it's worth it, and they ship it to you. Yeah, they're great. I actually ordered another set of Prius wheels, the Steelies down there, for the wintertime. I have winter tires on them, and it's great for my Prius. They even have spare tires. They have all the tires you could ever need. Now, let's say you need hubcaps. Well, they have originalhubcaps.com, where they refurbish hubcaps, they take off the scrape marks, they take care of them. It's a reputable business. It's been evaluated by the BBB. It's really excellent. They've been around since 2010. I've bought so much from them. I bought my XC70 wheels from here. I buy an infinite number of just hubcaps. You know, for family members, they have the aftermarket shitty looking ones. See, you can find brand new hubcaps right there. Again, they're kind of pricey, but I would say that it is 100% worth it. They've done a great job. I've ordered from them several times. Never had an issue, and if you do have an issue, you can always call and they will always answer. They're good. Like they're really good. This is where I think you should go, but of course you can find wheels elsewhere. But if you're looking for something specific, go here. Well, now that we've covered most things, you know, where to find the wheels, you know, how to bolt on and off the wheels, I would give you general instructions for that, but in the end, nothing is going to be the same that I'm going to say about that for your car. Right? We're talking about general stuff in this video. Look up a YouTube video for how to change a tire or whatever and just put the new wheels on. You also have to get new tires on them, yada, 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 a bunch of stuff. But we've already covered, you know, lug nut sizes, what lug nut size your car probably is if it's a Toyota or a Subaru, or generally if it's any of the other brands, and where you can find the specific wheels that you're looking at. Now, let me tell you about some wheel swaps that I do like, because you know me, I really hate customizing cars. I think it brings the value down. Some people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their car only to knock $14,000 off the price that it would normally be, like these Hellcats. They're kind of the only exception that will sell more if they're modded tastefully. But if they've got like rims that are hideous and they're just, some people will buy those. But if it's like a Dodge Dart, I mean, you're screwed. You've just taken all the resale value out of that car that you could ever have. But sometimes it can be done really, really, really tastefully. But, you know, I would use the KICK abbreviation, which I just made up. Keep it classy. For example, this RAV4. Look at its wheels and the actual styling of the car. The styling of the car, it's mopey. It's thick, it's chunky, it's got those lines through it. These wheels would really only look good on Toyotas from the same era with the same styling. If you put those wheels on a Volvo or a Mazda or something more in vogue, it would look terrible. It just would not look good at all. It would not match. But if you find another mopey, chunky Toyota, this is probably my favorite wheel swap ever on a car. The Prius V wheels were hideous. I just didn't like them. I didn't jive with them. But this, I think it looks really, 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 really good. I'm considering getting a V. I know I already have two Priuses and stuff. I'm considering getting a V just because I think it looks so good with those wheels. Like, it looks so good. It looks like the Mazda 5 of my dreams. I just love the way it looks. So let's get into some wheel swaps that I actually think do look good. I mean, this looks, I'm sorry, I can't. I've been wanting this for like years. I think it really, ever since I found this image, I've just been fawning over it. But again, with the tires, consult a shop. Consult an actual person who knows your car. Consult your mechanic. If they're big wheels, like this Toyota RAV4 wheels, which is the same pattern as the V, again, you might want to get smaller tires because it may rub. I mean, there's stuff you've got to watch out for here. These wheels are a little bit too big for the car, so they got smaller tires. Trade-offs you have to make. This is an example of something I think could work, but it just doesn't. I mean, these are from a brand new Honda Civic, and that's a 2017 through 2011 Honda Odyssey, probably 2014 and newer. It just doesn't work out. They look too chunky, they look too thick, they don't match with the style of the car, but they still look Honda-y, and they don't look that bad. But probably the most used wheels I've seen, especially on Subarus, are the Crosstrek wheels. And this amazes me. I think, especially on the Legacy Outback, I think that these Crosstrek wheels from 2017, which was the worst year of the, you know, Crosstrek, watch my video on the Crosstrek if you want to find out why with the fuel injection and the small engine and everything. Anyway, the reason why they look so good, I just can't figure it out in the Baja. I would think they would look good with wheels that are a little bit smaller, but off the XV Crosstrek, again, those wheels are magnificent. Something about, you know, Subarus, they're so timeless, and they still look good with wheels that are probably 20 years newer than the actual car. I think they look gorgeous, stunning, and the best part is they don't even look aftermarket. I mean, they do, but they don't look like crappy, like you know what I mean? Like they're aftermarket, but they don't look aftermarket, like AutoZone. You know what I mean? Minivans. I think minivans are also some of the best contenders for wheel swaps because oftentimes they think that families are going to buy them, so they don't really go all out. Let me tell you where the wheels are from. So on the Toyota, I think they work out with the grills, like the grills and the wheels and the grills in the actual car. This is a 2012 Toyota Sienna, 2012 to 2015 2016. The wheels on it are from a brand new Venza, 2024 Venza. The Odyssey up in the top corner, that one has wheels from a 2012 Honda Odyssey. And the wheels at the bottom has wheels from a 2010 Honda Pilot. And 2010 Honda Pilot wheels on a 2010 Honda Odyssey. Both the Odysseys in this video are 2010s. Yeah, I mean, I just think they look good. They look classy. And you honestly think about it. If these wheels were sold on this car from factory, I wouldn't question it. I mean, they really could. It looks conceivable. But in terms of Odyssey wheel swaps, I think the Honda Odyssey Elite wheels from 2016 to 2018, 2017. 2018 is when the next generation came in. Yeah, from like 2014 to 2016, I would say. The Elite, remember, Elite wheels look great. I thought they looked great on that car, and I think they look arguably even better on a 2010 Odyssey somehow. I think that this is probably my favorite Odyssey wheel swap. I mean, they really look great. This is another issue with OEM wheels on cars that are OEM, but you know what I mean, is that they look good on their own, but sometimes they don't always look good on the car. That, like, these wheels could look beautiful on their own, but like on a Volvo XC70, no, that'd probably look pretty good. Like on some other cars, they just wouldn't, they'd look hideous, you know, but I think this works out really, really well. This right here is a Subaru Crosstrek with Subaru Legacy Sport wheels from 2017. I think it doesn't look great. I prefer the regular Crosstrek wheels because I think the regular Crosstrek wheels were just the bomb. I thought they were great. But if it had ugly wheels OEM, I think this looks pretty good. It looks good with the cladding, you know, that like mischievous gray. Alright, another wheel swap that I think looks really good is Honda SUV wheels to other Honda SUV wheels. So here we have some custom chrome Honda Element SC wheels on a Honda CR-V, and some Honda Accord Crosstour, an excellent vehicle that should be car of the month one of these days, wheels on a Honda Element. I think they both look excellent. I especially like the chrome on the SE. I like how they tried to include it in the baseboards, but I would paint the car itself a different color. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Also, sometimes wheel swaps just surprise you. These are Toyota Prius Prime LE, the base trim, not the higher trim, LE wheels on a like 2005 Toyota Corolla. A lot of times I would say that this would look kind of trashy, but I think this actually somehow, some way, it actually works, and I think it looks pretty good, especially on a car of this age. That's pretty classy. I mean, add some chrome accents, and I'd believe that they were the original wheels, honestly. I mean, a little bit modern for 2005, but hey. But with OEM wheel swaps, for better or for worse, one of the most swapped vehicles is the Prius. Now, at the top, you know, for some reason, Corolla wheels, especially the 2019 Corolla wheels, get put a lot on Priuses, and I'm kind of here for it. I think they look kind of good. For example, the top left, that's from a Corolla XSE from 2019. The bottom right is from a 2019 Corolla, but just the LE, I think it's the S, just the base model or whatever. I honestly don't know on the bottom left what the wheels are on that car. I'm guessing there's some sort of like Toyota thing. I don't really know. You know, the car grandmaster does not know where every single wheel is from. And I know that the one on the top, as we already mentioned, the top right has wheels from the GR86. I think they look pretty good, but personally I would say, you know, the top left is my favorite, you know, personal preference. Well, also, a lot of people, when we do stuff like this, like wheel swaps, we talk about car customization, we'll say, well, I never need that for my car. You know, my car doesn't need that. My car is just fine. Well, let me give you an example of when you may want to do a wheel swap, you know, for even a nicer version of the wheels of your own car. For example, let's say you have a 2012 Mazda 3, you have the base model, and one of the hubcaps fell off. You just don't like the hubcaps. They constantly fall off. You have AutoZone cheapy ones on there. You just don't want to have to worry about them, and you're going to have this car for the next 10 years. You know, you may have bought it brand new. You may have bought it, you know, a few years used. You just don't like the hubcaps on it. You just want to replace it, and you're going to drive this car for a really, really, really long time. The mistake that you don't want to make is go into some wheel shop and say, hey, I need some wheels for this car. They're just going to give you whatever car wheels they think would look good on your car. Not roasting whoever person put these wheels on the car, but first of all, the red is too champagne-y to go with white. You know what I mean? Like, usually candy apple red goes better with white than a more red wine type of red. You know what I mean? Like, Mazda's very, you know, they're very classy, they're very en vogue, and so I don't really think these, they kind of chop up the design a little bit, so I wouldn't go for these. And also, when you go to resell the car's just not going to sell as much, because people are going to think, well, if they futzed around with the wheels, they probably futzed around with some other stuff that I don't know about, and they probably did a pretty poor job. What you should do is go to originalwheels.com and say, hey, I'll just need some 2012 Mazda 3 wheels, and get the, you know, clamped, pressed aluminum wheels. Were they aluminum or steel? I don't care. Just get, you know, the alloys. You know, there you go. You have nicer wheels. You can put the same tires on them. It's going to cost a lot to buy the wheels, to get them shipped over to you, to get the tires put on. But again, if you're going to have this car for a long time, it's going to up your resale value, and it's just going to make the car a little bit nicer for you. And if that's worth it for you, I mean, more power to you. Another example, I'm a big advocate for letting cars live their full lifespan, and be passed around and used. Our family it had one life. It was bought in 2007, brand new, with a nice family. It was the base model Honda Odyssey. They drove it for a while, but they bought it brand new. They had money. They wanted a newer Sienna, so they sold it to us. We drove it for a while, and then in 2020, they were in a bank, and it just stopped working. The alternator stopped working. We had already put thousands of dollars into it, so we just decided to scrap it. Then, that car got sold again, and I saw it in a parking lot somewhere with a family, and it had like fries on the floor, and some single mother probably walked into a buy here, pay here car dealership and paid $1,500 for a minivan that would probably last her the next 10 years. It was a pretty good minivan. I'm a big advocate for recycling cars and letting them live out their full lifespan. Let's say you have like a Toyota Corolla on the lot. If you just put the AutoZone hubcaps on it and, wheels like that, it's never going to sell. It's going to sit on the lot, and eventually you're just going to end up having to scrap it. But if you have some newer Corolla, this is Crosstrek wheels again from 2017. If you have some Crosstrek wheels just laying around, why not just slap it on the Corolla? First of all, a lot of people will never tell the difference, and even if they do tell the difference, they look much better than the AutoZone cheap replacement wheels you'd ever be able to find for a Toyota Corolla. So I say, if you want to do it, do it. Alright, well, that's my video on wheel swaps. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what car you have, and I could suggest some wheels. I usually have pretty good taste when it comes to wheel swaps. I've done a few of them. I'm looking to do that V1 just for family members. You find some on originalwheels.com that you think would look good, that are a little bit cheaper than the nicer ones. You slap them on, and you want to know what they look fine. But if you have any questions or comments, or, you think that this entire wheel swapping thing is probably just not a good idea, again, you should consult with someone before doing this. Don't just buy something on originalwheels.com, slap on a tire, and put it on your car. Because remember, it's the overall diameter of the wheel and tire combined itself that matters. So you can't put bigger diameter size wheels on your car if you want to, but the issue there is it's gonna screw up the thing that tells you how fast you're going, your speedometer. It's going to screw it up just a tiny little bit, but it's off by, I calculated it. If I added wheels that were 2 inches bigger, it would mess my speedometer up by 3 miles per hour, which is within the safe limit of, your speedometer being inaccurate. So just maybe get smaller tires to make sure that the wheel itself is the same diameter. Now, there's going to be fluctuations, and it's never going to fit the same as the factory wheels, but oftentimes it doesn't really matter. So I'd say the safest bet is just going with a nicer version of the wheels that came on your car. For instance, if I wanted nicer wheels on my Prius, I could go with the Prius V, the 5, the fancy wheels instead of my wheels with hubcaps. But I'm not going to do that because I think my wheels are fine. Anyway, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think.